Did you know that forcing yourself to sleep 8 continuous hours might actually be shortening your lifespan rather than extending it? Most people believe that a solid block of sleep is the gold standard for health, but history and biology tell us a different story. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the Geneva Longevity Institute followed 12,000 seniors over the course of a decade. They discovered that those who broke their sleep into specific cycles and followed a specific pre-bed routine reduced their risk of cognitive decline by a staggering 42%. This is not just about feeling rested the next day. It is about how your body repairs its DNA and cleans toxins from the brain while you are unconscious. We often look at centenarians, those people who live to be over 100 years old, and wonder what their secret is. The secret is rarely found in a pill bottle or a fancy piece of technology. It is found in the rituals they perform in the final hours before they close their eyes. Today we are going to explore exactly what those rituals are and how you can implement them tonight. These are simple changes that cost nothing, but can add years to your life. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. We want to build a community of healthy seniors who are ready to take control of their nights. Let's get into the list of things you need to start doing. Number 7 is what I call the sunset prohibition. This does not refer to alcohol, although avoiding alcohol is certainly wise. This refers to the prohibition of artificial blue light after the sun goes down. In the modern world, we are bathed in light from our televisions, our tablets, and our LED light bulbs. A fascinating report from the Stanford Center for Sleep Sciences recently highlighted how this light confuses the elderly brain more than the younger brain. When your eyes see bright blue light, your brain thinks it is noon. It halts the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that tells your body it is time to shut down. Imagine you are trying to park a car in a garage, but someone keeps shining a spotlight in your eyes. That is what you are doing to your pineal gland when you watch the news right before bed. You need to create an environment of dim, warm light at least 90 minutes before you intend to sleep. Let me tell you about Arthur, a 79-year-old retired electrical engineer who loved his evening television. Arthur suffered from insomnia for 15 years and was taking heavy medication just to get 4 hours of rest. He was skeptical when we suggested he simply turn off the main lights and wear amber-tinted glasses while watching TV. He felt silly wearing sunglasses inside his own house. However, within 3 weeks, Arthur noticed he was naturally yawning at 9 p.m. His body was finally receiving the chemical signal that the day was over. The study from Stanford suggests that reducing light exposure increases deep sleep duration by an average of 30 minutes. This might not sound like much, but 30 minutes of deep sleep is where your brain cleans out the plaque associated with Alzheimer's. It is a critical period for restoration. You do not need to sit in the dark. Simply switch to lamplight that is below eye level. Think of a campfire which is low and warm versus the sun which is high and bright. Your living room should look like a campfire setting in the evening. Number 6 involves the timing of your final caloric intake. We call this the digestive gap. Many seniors enjoy a late snack or a late dinner because their schedules have shifted. But eating too close to bedtime is a disaster for your longevity. When you eat, your body has to direct a massive amount of energy toward digestion. It increases your core body temperature and your heart rate. For you to enter a state of deep restorative sleep, your heart rate needs to drop and your temperature needs to fall. If your stomach is churning on a heavy meal, your body cannot prioritize cellular repair. A comprehensive analysis by the Mayo Clinic, involving 5,000 participants, showed a direct link between late-night eating and increased inflammation markers in seniors. The food sits in your stomach like a brick because your digestion slows down when you lie down. This leads to acid reflux, which micro-awakens you dozens of times a night even if you don't realize it. Ideally, you want a gap of 3 to 4 hours between your last bite of food and your head hitting the pillow. Let me introduce you to Martha, a 74-year-old former school principal. Martha loved to have a bowl of ice cream and a few cookies while watching her favorite shows at 10 p.m. She complained of feeling groggy every morning and had chronic joint pain. We asked Martha to shift her dinner to 6 p.m. and close the kitchen completely afterward. The first week was difficult for her because she was used to the comfort of the snack. But by the second week, Martha reported that her joint pain had decreased significantly. This happens because her body was no longer fighting inflammation all night. She was waking up feeling refreshed because her body had finished its work before she went to sleep. If you must eat something, it should be very small. Think of the size of a kiwi fruit. Anything larger than that triggers the full digestive engine. Number 5 is the ritual of thermal regulation. This is often overlooked by seniors who tend to feel colder than younger people. It is natural to want to bundle up and turn the heat up high to feel cozy. However, your body requires a drop in core temperature to initiate sleep. Research from the Harvard Division of Sleep Medicine indicates that the optimal room temperature for seniors is actually between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That is roughly 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. When the room is too warm, your body struggles to release heat. This keeps you in the lighter stages of sleep, where you are easily woken up by noise or discomfort. Many centenarians in blue zones sleep in rooms that we would consider chilly. They rely on heavy blankets rather than heated air. This creates a microclimate where the body is warm, but the air you breathe is cool. Breathing in cool air helps to calm the nervous system. Let's talk about Robert, an 83-year-old retired carpenter from Minnesota. Robert kept his thermostat at 74 degrees all year round because he hated the cold. He would toss and turn for hours and wake up sweating. We advised Robert to lower the thermostat to 67 degrees and wear socks to bed if his feet got cold. Warming the feet actually helps dump heat from the core of the body. It sounds contradictory, but warm feet help cool the body down. Robert tried this and found that he fell asleep in less than 15 minutes. He was no longer waking up in a sweat. The cool air signaled to his brain that it was time for hibernation. If you do not have a thermostat, you can control precisely. Opening a window just a crack can achieve the same effect. Fresh, cool air is a powerful sedative. Number 4 is the strategic intake of magnesium. We are not talking about sleeping pills, which can be dangerous and habit-forming for the elderly. We are talking about a mineral that is essential for over 300 processes in the body. As we age, our ability to absorb magnesium from food decreases. A deficiency in magnesium is directly linked to insomnia and restless leg syndrome. A 2023 report from the Journal of Geriatric Nutrition showed that 70% of adults over the age of 70 are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium helps your muscles relax and quiets the nerve activity that keeps your mind racing. You can get magnesium from food, but sometimes a supplement is necessary for therapeutic effects. Foods rich in magnesium include pumpkin seeds, spinach, and almonds. However, to get the recommended 400 milligrams purely from food, you might have to eat an amount that is uncomfortable. For example, getting that amount from spinach would require you to eat about 4 cups of cooked spinach every single day. That is a lot of greens for anyone to consume. Supplementing with a specific type of magnesium, like magnesium glycinate, can bridge this gap. Magnesium glycinate is gentle on the stomach and does not cause digestive upset like other forms. Let me tell you about Rose, a 76-year-old retired piano teacher. Rose suffered from terrible leg cramps that would wake her up in the middle of the night. She was losing sleep and feeling anxious about going to bed. She started taking a magnesium supplement about an hour before bed. She described the feeling as a warm blanket being wrapped around her nervous system. Her leg cramps disappeared within 10 days. She was able to sleep through the night for the first time in years. Always consult with your own local doctor before starting a new supplement, especially if you have kidney issues. But for most people, magnesium is the missing link to a peaceful night. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. We are trying to reach as many people as possible with this life-saving information. Your interaction helps the algorithm show this to people who need it. Now let's move on to the next point in our list. Number 3 is the practice of the worry dump. Anxiety and racing thoughts are the enemy of sleep. As we get older, we often worry about our health, our finances, or our families. These thoughts tend to swirl around in our heads the moment we lay down in the dark. The Centenarian practice to combat this is surprisingly simple. It involves externalizing these thoughts before you get into bed. A study from the University of Oxford Psychology Department found that writing down a to-do list or a worry list took 5 minutes, but saved hours of tossing and turning. When you write a thought down, your brain feels that the problem has been handled, or at least stored safely. It no longer needs to expend energy remembering it. It is like saving a file on your computer and then closing the program. If you do not save the file, the program has to stay running in the background. We want to close all the programs in your brain before sleep. Consider the story of James, an 80-year-old veteran. James would lie awake thinking about the maintenance his house needed and whether he paid the utility bill. He felt that if he stopped thinking about it, he would forget. We gave James a simple notebook to keep on his nightstand. Every night at 8 p.m., he would write down 3 things he needed to do the next day. He would also write down 1 thing that was bothering him. By doing this, James gave himself permission to let go. He told us that the notebook acted like a container for his stress. He could close the book and leave the stress inside it. This simple psychological trick allows the brain to transition into delta wave sleep much faster. You do not need to write a novel. Just bullet points are enough to clear the mental cache. Number 2 involves the intake of warm liquids, specifically herbal teas. This is a ritual seen in almost every culture known for longevity. The act of sipping a warm beverage is soothing, but the chemistry of certain herbs is what matters. We are looking for herbs that act on the GABA receptors in the brain. GABA is a neurotransmitter that slows down brain activity. Chamomile and valerian root are the most well-researched herbs for this. A clinical trial published in the International Journal of Elderly Health showed that chamomile extract improved sleep quality significantly in seniors. The study noted that the effect was cumulative, meaning it works better the more consistently you do it. It is not just about the chemical effect. It is about the ritual itself. It signals to your body that the day is winding down. However, you must be careful with the volume of liquid. You do not want to drink a large mug right before bed, or you will be waking up to use the bathroom. The ideal amount is about 4 to 6 ounces. Compare this to the size of a standard teacup, not a large coffee mug. Just half a cup is enough to get the benefits without the bladder pressure. Let's look at Eleanor, an 85-year-old former nurse. Eleanor used to drink black tea in the evenings out of habit. She did not realize the caffeine was staying in her system for up to 8 hours. Even though she could fall asleep, the caffeine prevented her from entering deep sleep. She switched to a blend of chamomile and lavender tea. She made it a ceremony, sitting in her favorite chair and smelling the steam. This sensory experience became a trigger for her body to relax. She noticed that she felt less groggy in the mornings because her sleep was deeper. It is a small adjustment, swapping one drink for another, but the biological impact is massive. Finally, number 1 is the concept of sound consistency. Many seniors live in environments that are either too quiet or have startling noises. Complete silence can actually be detrimental because every small sound becomes a disruption. If a floorboard creaks or a car drives by, it sounds like a gunshot in a silent room. Centenarians often live in environments with consistent background noise, like the sound of nature. Modern science calls this pink noise. Pink noise is different from white noise. White noise sounds like static, which can be harsh. Pink noise sounds like heavy rain, wind through leaves, or a steady stream. A study from the Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine found that pink noise synchronizes brainwaves during deep sleep. This synchronization improves memory retention in older adults. It creates a sound blanket that masks other sudden noises. You can achieve this with a simple sound machine or even a fan. Let me tell you about George, a 78-year-old retired mechanic. George lived in an apartment complex where neighbors would sometimes slam doors. He would wake up with his heart racing and could not fall back asleep. He started using a simple machine that made the sound of rainfall. He set the volume low, just enough to fill the room. When the neighbors slammed a door, the sound was blended into the rainfall. His brain did not register it as a threat. George reported that his sleep became unbroken for 6 hours at a stretch. This consistency allows the brain to cycle through all the necessary sleep stages without interruption. The volume should be conversational, not loud. Imagine someone whispering in the corner of the room. That is the correct volume level. These 7 rituals work together to build a fortress around your sleep. You do not have to implement all of them at once. Start with 1 or 2 and see how your body responds. Perhaps start with the light regulation and the digestive gap. Once those become habits, add in the magnesium or the tea. The goal is to create a rhythm that your body can rely on. Our bodies love predictability, especially as we age. When you treat your evening routine with respect, your body rewards you with vitality. You will find that you have more energy for your grandchildren, your hobbies, and your daily walks. Sleep is the foundation upon which all other health is built. Without it, the best diet and exercise plan in the world will fail. By reclaiming your nights, you are reclaiming your days. In summary, remember to dim the lights, stop eating 3 hours before bed, keep the room cool, consider magnesium, write down your worries, sip a small amount of herbal tea, and use pink noise. These are the keys to unlocking the longevity that nature intended for you. Which of these rituals are you going to try tonight? Let me know in the comments below because I am genuinely interested in your journey. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more practical health advice tailored for seniors. Always remember to speak with your physician before making changes to your health routine.